Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ressies Podcast. This is episode number 20.
20? That's pretty good. That's, I don't know what it would be comparable to, because like 10, that's double digits, obviously 100 triple digits, but 20 just seems nice.
Well, 20, usually when you come back from cricket on a Monday and people ask, how'd you go? And you say you made 20, it's usually a little bit respectable.
It's respectable. If you say you made 19, it's not respectable. If you say you
No.
made 20, you get respected. The other thing is, it's a random train of thought, but for 20k followers for Marmalade, we went to KFC and celebrated, so 20 just has a nice number in my head because we did get a zinger box when we hit 20k.
Might have to get a few chicken tendies after this, or
Especially because we have a special guest on the podcast today. He's sitting across from me. We haven't introduced him yet, but we have the worst on ground in the Div 12 Ressies game, Australian comedian Aaron Gocs, joining us on the Ressies Podcast.
Gocsy! Thank you, guys. Yes. Some people would run from that title, but I've brought it in.
Oh, he's brought the medal!
Yeah.
Does that permanently stay in your pocket, or have you just...
You know what? I'm going to tell the truth. I could act like I know where it is always, but it was in a box because I've just recently moved, so it was in a box of stuff. I had to scurry through, but I found it. It's a beautiful, for those who've been following the journey and who watched the game, you might know there was a whole funny story to go with that.
Some controversy.
Yeah. Well, I believe accidentally got given best on ground first.
I mixed the boxes up, and I checked them 4 or 5 times before handing them out, but then there was a lot going on, and there's a lot of people around, and I was carrying a microphone and boxes and my footy boots, and I've given you the best on ground. I've announced you as worst on ground, but given you the best on ground medal by accident. So you could have very easily just run.
Yeah.
You could have run
But
under
it would
your
have
arm,
been quite hollow. But
Yeah.
I could have gone straight to cash converters. I don't know what the value would be. They would have just looked at me. But but it's still like, for those who follow what I do, it's all about humour and having fun. And
I thought
I've always known I'm not great at sports, let's be honest. But although rugby league, I was kind of an all right front row, but that's another yarn. But nah.
I thought you'd appreciate it. I was looking around at some of the players I had in mind for worst on ground, and I knew that you would appreciate the value of that medal the most. So
No, I had a shocker, but well, I'm not a good footy player as it is, but I was coming into the game with a rib injury from rugby league, and early on, someone put a big shepherd on me. That slowed me down even. So I probably would have got 3 touches without that.
Is it fair enough to say, from my memory, did you come into the game without football boots?
in moccasins.
Yeah, you came in moccasins.
Yeah, but I had boots with me. I just wasn't wearing them, because I had my pink boots. Yeah.
I remember at one point we thought you might play in the moccasins, and I thought that could be a very cool piece of the game, but maybe next year we'll sprig up some moccasins. You can get shoes sprigged.
Well, back in the day with my teams I played with, I was known for some silly outfits and things, and I would come to training in like slippers, and back in the day I had a kind of like a tennis headband, and but no, when the game time comes, it's serious boots time, and I've it's one of those I'm sure it's still going on where when the coloured boots boom happened, and I didn't want like fancy colour, but
traditionalists.
it was just actually
the black Puma Kings, the Nike, so the Adidas. Are they? I can't remember the name of them. Adidas Imperials or
Predators?
The black and white ones. It's just black boots with white stripes.
Well, now it's probably a
90s?
statement.
Coppers maybe might be the go, but
You're probably making a statement now if you wear black.
You are. If you got the black boots, people are now chasing black boots when they go out of the shops. They, I remember Matty Knight was at my house last week, who played in the biggest game of Ressies, and he saw I had a black pair of Puma Kings, and he was wanting to pinch them off me. He wanted to try them on and see if they're his size because he wants a nice pair of black boots. You can get pink and orange and fluoro everything's at the shops, but he's got the medal on. Gocsy just put the Western Ground medal on. I like it. For those watching the YouTube podcast, you'll be able to see it, but
you gotta
represent.
I'm trying to think of cool words the kids say. I'm that old, but I was gonna say,
where are you planning on storing it now that you've moved house? Is it going to go in somewhere special? I know some players store it on the fireplace. Some players get it framed. Maybe hanging on the wall. Are you gonna...
We hear about sort of like Brownlows getting robbed and stolen, so I'm going to have to put it in a safe or something. Yeah,
absolutely. Guy's cabinet.
No, it's an honour, and even just being part of that game, I was just saying before that, there was like a big buzz and then there was a letdown afterwards because I've been telling people about it. I went to Adelaide, come back to East Coast and telling everyone. because it's like one of the biggest local sports thing I've seen, you know.
And we were part of it. We were lucky to be all a part of it and share it.
It was all estimates, wasn't it? But people would say like 5,000.
5,000 in the crowd.
Yeah.
25,000 people watching it on YouTube live.
Yeah. We could do all the stats. I reckon. Quite a few pizzas on the ground at quarter time.
We did. There was a special moment myself and Gocsy shared, and it wasn't captured on camera. Just about every millimetre and second of that game was captured on a camera in some way, shape or form. No one captured myself and Gocsy at quarter time
eating,
hoeing into Domino's pizza. Which
it was like, you know, modern times there's all sports signs and stuff. There was kids like giving us pizza, chalky milk bottles.
On the way, we were running under the ground, and some kid had 24 nuggets.
Yeah.
And was handing us chicken nuggets as we.
I thought like it's not ideal for running around. I thought we might spew or something.
But then part of me also thought, sports science terms, they get you to eat a lot of salt and drink pickle juice now.
Oh,
and
really?
I thought maybe I'll cramp later, so pizza with pepperoni, salty pepperoni might do me good. It might help my cramps. But I don't know if that helped in the end. I think it probably just made me sick. The chalky milk pizza, chicken nugget, dim sims going on in the stomach, running around.
Well, one thing also we talked about, because we were at Moorabbin the other day for the Saints, and the kids now are very demanding. You know, these trends start where, like, give us your boots. And you were saying about how you had to go back to the sheds almost naked. Like,
I was in my underwear, and I was clinging on to dear life for my Guernsey because I knew that the club wanted to auction them off. So gave away everything. They emptied my footy bag, and they were hassling you as well. They were hassling Will, they were hassling Jarrah, but not hassling. I guess they were there for the good reason. It was good they showed up. But
the reason because I was saying kids want so much, but then the kids were giving back with pizza and chalky milk.
There's some good trade deals going on, actually. Yeah, I'll give you my boots for a slice of pepperoni.
Yeah.
I've actually bought some gifts for you guys. Is that all right? You know, I've got.
This is the first guest to bring us gifts. So.
Yeah. So the story of this is a true story. I've been doing. There's an app called Airtasker where I do little jobs. Anyway, someone wanted me to take away a bunch of soil from their house. Nothing interesting, but I start digging in and found these footy cards in the pile of dirt. So, you know,
let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got Cameron Ellis Yeoman.
He played at Lockleys. He was where the Div 12 Ressies original.
No way.
Played under 14s.
Did he actually?
Yep.
It's a good list of Lockleys demons coming.
Jimmy Tumpus, Cameron Ellis Yeoman. Matt McDonough's currently the A-grade coach. So there's a few ex-AFL boys.
Ebony Marinoff in the AFLW.
You're kidding me, right? Oh, I thought you said you had an Ebony Marinoff card.
No.
Yes, Ebony Marinoff was also the first female to captain a club at Lockleys.
The next card is Michael Hurley.
This is good cards. There's a little bit of soil on the edges. I like that. They're like special because.
Well, it's so weird. I don't know why they were in the pile.
Do you think was there kids at the house where you were digging the soil from? Maybe they were trying to grow a footy card tree.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Or like
Jack
you know how dogs bury their bone? Maybe the kid was like
burying Jack
footy
Zeeble card
for later,
Oh, Lewis Taylor, he's a Geelong boy.
Yeah.
And then there's a team coach card from 2022, Caleb Sarong.
Do you think maybe you could put the footy cards in there and like a time capsule? So like they're all quite young players. Zach Zeeble's a little bit older, but like maybe they're like, I'll put my Caleb Sarong in the soil when he win a Brownlow and I can go dig it up as like a bit of a memento of where he was at when I buried him.
Yeah.
You said you've been doing Airtasker.
And that's the other gift. It's my chalky milk holders.
Cool.
Yeah.
Chalky milk holder. Yeah.
We can fit a carton in it.
Yep.
That's great.
Jeez, it's massive.
You can put a chalky milk in there.
Oh, absolutely.
You said you've been doing Airtasker. What sort of jobs do you get up to on there? Digging soil and digging up footy card trees.
That's it. I'd like to say that's why there's nothing usually interesting happens. That was the most interesting thing. But a lot of jobs of digging, throwing things out. A lot of people, when they get things ordered, it comes in the boxes. They want me to come and grab the boxes. And so I'd like to have a good yarn, but there's
You're just doing little odd jobs.
Yeah.
No, that's the craziest story you've already brought to us. In the fact that you found footy cards buried in the ground.
And it made me think of you guys with the unwrapping. And,
that's fantastic. That's fantastic. They suit really well, actually.
We're very grateful because, like we said, you are the first guest to have
brought a gift.
Brought us some gifts.
Yeah.
So we're very, very, very thankful. And the chalky milk holders,
that'll get good use.
It'll absolutely get some.
You said you're doing Airtasker as a job. You have another job, which we haven't really introduced yet, but you're a comedian.
Yep.
first and foremost.
You've seen my comedy show?
We have been. I've been
few
to a
times.
few.
Firsthand.
But your first and foremost job is a comedian, which is you're the first comedian to come on the pod. Mostly we just get really average content creators on here, especially that Jared Davis guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Fun fact, he was on a billboard today.
Jared Davis on a billboard.
Jared Davis was on a billboard. Can we get him come on for 2 seconds and tell the story?
Jared Davis was on a billboard.
Jared Davis was
Gocsy,
on
have
a
you ever been on a
billboard.
billboard?
I don't think so.
Mm.
That's the next goal.
That is the
Jared,
next
you
goal.
can
I've
come
never
into
been
my
on.
seat and you can tell the story.
It's an extreme. I want to hear what this billboard was. Was it wanted shit content creator, or was Daniel Gorringe sponsoring billboards?
No, so you know, I love to be humble. It's one of the things I love to be.
For clarification, he loves himself, so he hates being humble.
But I was on the train this morning from work going to meet up with you boys, and I stop off at Richmond Station. And what happened is I had no data left on my phone. I ran out of data, so I had to actually look up from my phone screen, looking right, looking left, and I see out the corner of my eye one of those rotating billboards at Richmond Station. I guess who's on it?
Doing what?
This man, TikTok billboard, #sports, TikTok sports. Jared Davis is the face of TikTok sports.
Oh my gosh.
All over Melbourne and on TV supposedly.
How much are you getting paid for this?
I was paid a certain commission, although I have not been paid yet because when I sent the invoice, I messed up the BSB number.
Oh.
And I only found that out today when I went back and I was like...
Some Joe Blow's got your payment from TikTok.
Yeah, so someone's definitely out there stealing my commission from this billboard.
Not quite stealing, just benefiting. They've received a payment. Hopefully they've spent it on something good, but I mean they didn't really steal it. They didn't put your BSB in wrong.
Yeah. But basically all I wanted to say is I'm famous and no one hit up my DMs because they are full.
We'll bring Will Taylor back on the podcast. That was fantastic little
Inspirational.
cameo.
Thanks, Jared.
We'll go back to talking about Gocsy's comedy career. Where did it start? When did you start doing comedy?
Oh, mate, you're making me feel old. I've been at it a long time now. So I'm a Brisbane boy. I started doing stand-up comedy around 2008, long time ago. So I was early 20s I was, and had nothing to talk about, as opposed to now where I'm dealing with big issues. But those who know what I do know that's a bit silly. I'm a bit of a... But I just, I like to have fun. So, a lot of talking about pies and...
You started the Ressies, really.
Yeah.
You're the OG Ressie, the original, the one of the very first Ressies to pop up. And, I mean, we now have the Ressies podcast. We've stolen it. We're just speaking about someone stealing Jared's money. We've really stolen this tag off Gocsy. But we're working together. We've got him on the pod, and he's going to be playing Div 12 Ressies, hopefully. And it's a group project now where we've got more than just one Ressie. We've got multiple of them.
It's a
Mate,
community.
like I said, I know I said before, but that game, it was so inspiring, and I wanted to be a part of that. I don't know how many flew over from interstate, but
A few.
Not many.
We had 5 or 6, I think.
yeah.
I came across the border for it. So.
Yeah, Jared came across the border as well.
Okay,
so-
I felt, you're making me feel...
Actually, Gocsy came the furthest, if anyone wanted to know. So coming all the way from Queensland was
exactly.
the furthest.
No, I'm just joking, but no, mate, I appreciate that, but you as well, you're a trailblazer. You've been... Think how long you've been rocking the footy show cap for.
Yeah, I'm not wearing it today because it needs a little bit of break. I can't wear it every day anymore because it's starting to fall apart.
Well, yeah, it's like the baggy green, isn't it? You know, you got the
You don't want to take it off because I used to wear it every single day. I've worn it every single day for about 12 years, the footy show hat, but it is on its
have
last
a nice
legs.
fragrance.
So I just have to pick and choose when I wear it. Make sure I wear it to formal events, not just... I mean, the podcast with Gocsy probably would have been a good show, but I already had this on my head just leaving the house. But
yeah,
the footy show hat, I sort of pull out when it needs to come out, not just an everyday wear anymore. So
yeah.
But we go through your comedy. You started in 2008.
Yep.
When did you decide you want to do comedy? What made you get into it? What was the reasoning?
Yeah, I was always a fan. We at school we loved Carl Barron. That was a long time ago, but he's still pumping. But yeah, guys like that. I remember he would be on telly, right? We'd all come to school the next day. We'd be quoting the jokes and shows our times. Not many people watching telly anymore.
Now they're watching TikToks and quoting the TikToks, but
yeah, and saying words that no one understands.
Chalky milk, haha, funny.
yeah. Saying no cap and all that.
yeah, true.
I know from my daughters all this stuff, but yeah. So started as a big fan, and then also being a little people said I was a bit of a class clown myself. So being silly at school, mucking around. But it was a big gap in between that. It wasn't like I did it straight away, so it was a few years past, and then I'm not sure if you've heard of raw comedy, but it's a big.
Is that the 5-minute comedy they do?
Yeah,
they do a lot of
yeah.
5-minute stunts. They give people their first break in the industry.
Yeah, quite a lot have started there. Josh Thomas, Ando, heaps anyway. But yeah, it's where a lot of people come through. So I entered that, and my first year I didn't do very well, actually. I didn't progress because you have like wild cards in your city.
Is it a bit like Australia's Got Talent, but for comedy?
That's right, and you move through to the next
It's an
stage.
audition process, and then the finalists get picked and they get given the gigs. But
That's right, yeah. So
it's big on YouTube. That's actually where we see a lot of the raw comedy is the 5-minute clips.
Every state does it, and then the winner from each state will come to Melbourne. It's kind of like the AFL Grand Final, and then they play during Melbourne Comedy Fest. There's a final, and they pick a winner, right? So yeah, it's big. Then they get sent over to like Edinburgh, which is the biggest comedy fest in the world, to perform. So I entered that straight away. Didn't do very well. So then I didn't go back and gig or anything for a year. I just thinking of jokes in my head and silly little. Next year I enter and I started going better. I went to the Queensland final. Stopped there, didn't go any further, but that was enough to sort of give me motivation. They're like, oh, there's something, people are starting to enjoy this. But when I started, one-liners, little quips and stuff. Do you want to hear my first ever joke?
I would love nothing more. That'd be incredible.
A warning, it's no good, but so you can see I've come a long way. No. But that's it. It's like anything. You're not really great when you start at stuff, right? So anyway, here it is. It's very like that Seinfeld style. You're like, what is the deal? Anyway, when you're in the pool with someone and you splash them and they hate it, like, don't they want to get wet? Yeah, I warned you. I warned you.
So that's where it started.
So you can see it was the judges who were wrong, not me. Why didn't they put me through?
Why were you not just straight into Edinburgh after that?
Yeah, and not only that, when I started, I thought you have to look funny too. So I was wearing one of those T-shirts with it's a tuxedo suit shirt.
It's like Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights. I'm formal, but I'm here to party.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And that, it's something you learn along the way. You eventually learn you want your material to be strong enough that you don't have to be like, look, I'm wacky. Now I just have the hairdo, but yeah, and the stupid tattoo. But it's a learning program. Like I said, that was a long time ago. I've been at it a long time, so first few years was just local gigs.
Stand up, comedy lounge.
And coming through it is very tough, like, especially in Brisbane, the gigs had sort of 5-6 people there sometimes.
It's like open mics and stuff?
Yeah, open mics.
How did you write the comedy? What was inspiring that? Were you writing in a book? These days I know a lot of people write in their phone notes.
Yeah.
But we're talking 2008, probably early days of the phone notes being...
I was too busy playing Snake on my Nokia. A lot of like little notepads.
Was it things that
books.
were happening in day-to-day life that were inspiring? Were you genuinely sitting down trying to write jokes?
I'm actually not a big like sit down and write. I'm always on, babe. No. That's I was joking about that, but it in a little way it is that like constantly thinking. Whereas, yeah. So in one way, the people who sit and write, they're putting in a big effort to do that. But I'm always thinking, never stops.
The comedy brain never sleeps.
Yeah.
Is that
But the funny thing then is like in your life every day, then it comes to you and you're like, oh shit, I got to write this down. And I've like lost some good ones, I reckon, just because I'm like,
not near a pen and paper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sort of, that, like you said, the phone notes can help a lot.
Was there anyone helping you in the early days to get better?
No, not really.
Self-taught, YouTube taught.
That's the thing. I started as a big fan of comedy, and early on, I probably, as people tend to do, you wear your influences heavily until you. Takes time to find your own persona, and I'd probably cringe if I could go back and watch. But I don't know if you heard of this comedian Mitch Hedberg. He's American. I just gotten into him like around early 2000, and then unfortunately he passed away. But he's a very like known for like one-liners, like quick sort of jokes. But anyway, when I started, I was a huge fan of his, but I would you could tell, because I would like sort of.
You'd replicate him. You'd copy him.
It was a pretty big rip-off.
What do they call it in the imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
Where I find that with content sometimes is we'll watch some very good videos, some very good TikToks,
and you find yourself doing that.
And then next time we got to film, I want to start making all that stuff subliminally without even thinking about it. It just happens, and then.
Watching you in The Rock, I can see. Oh, he's trying to be Max Gorn. He's trying to be Brody Grundy. No.
Far from it. Mark J.
Spider Everett. Yeah, the big Russian.
We saw Spider Everett at St Kilda training the other day as well. I hope you got a photo with him. I hope you got
there was so much going. I didn't actually see him, but there was so much going. I'm like, it's like, it's Rewalt. It's because it's like
very busy day.
Winmar. Yeah, that was great.
When you started really cracking it big, and when I first discovered you, was your Facebook videos. I don't know if Instagram videos were at the same time, but there was a lot of Facebook videos getting around. And you were probably one of the very first Australian comedians to really build a strong Facebook or a social media profile.
Yeah, well, so how I was sort of complaining about the Brisbane gigs or whatever, and I would be like with other comedians, I'd be whinging a lot, going like, oh, no one's noticing us, and it became that thing of like, you can keep whinging or complaining or try and do something. So I was like, I've got to try and get my comedy out, but I wasn't very good at like. Technically, producing or anything. So you can see that's quite sloppy, A
lot of them were just very casual phone videos.
Yeah.
But
that was actually at my parents' house, a lot of them, on their computer with the webcam. And I was just like, hadn't learned what to do. Obviously, it's not that rocket science. But you can actually see there's no editing or anything. You can see me like switching off and stuff. And I don't like to talk about my own act, but some people have told me that's like a certain charm to it, is the crappiness of it. But...
yeah, that's what it's trying to do the most. Is that Ressie's factor for us in the sporting sense, but also in the comedy sense? Is it just authentic?
Yeah.
You don't have the high production.
You can
videos,
tell there's not like a director going cut.
Yeah, well, there's not someone writing your jokes or your scripts for you. You're sitting there in front of your computer and starting off early days with things like seafood basket would have been one of the very first. You were reviewing a seafood basket from the fish and chip shop, and that was where I got hooked on the Aaron Gocs socials. I don't know if Willie had a video that sticks out in his memory.
My favourite is probably your most popular one. You in cornrows eating corn while listening to corn.
That's one of my first, actually. The funny thing about that is it went like around the world, but not like credited to me, which is fine. It's that like like Homer Simpson when he's like, "Ooh, I'm making people happy." It's like people are stoked about it, but I was like, can I get some credit here? But then it was that thing of just keep at it, because that, and it was like, when I say around the world, it's like memes popping up from South America and Mexico and Brazil and stuff.
But you felt like maybe it was a bit of validation that you knew what you were doing and you're on the right track.
Yeah, that's right. So I kept at it, and then had some more, like you said, some of those ones where I'm like talking about food and things like that, and because that's what I found either interesting or funny, and and then the next one. So like, even to have that start, that allowed for eventually the ones that kind of blew up pretty big, like Classic Stitch Up.
Classic Stitch Ups.
Yeah. So that was the thing that actually happened at my work, and it was like, I just kind of like, I did write a quick script, but I didn't want to be like, this has to be word for word, just like, I want to retell what happened.
Just off the cuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And it was crazy. Like, I guess people, like I said, I don't like talking about my own stuff, but I guess it resonated with people who've been on work sites or even people who hadn't, who are interested in that kind of blue collar culture.
Yeah, or have people they know in their lives that are living the blue collar culture.
Yeah.
Like whether it's the family, immediate family or friends, but it was definitely very easy to resonate. And did you find that through the Facebook, then you started to get a lot more gigs? It was you were putting stuff out on social media.
Yeah.
Said you were struggling to get 5-6 people to a show in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Start eating corn with cornrows on Facebook, and then with the offers coming left, right, and centre for gigs. Is that?
Well, the difference was, so all of those gigs where I said not many people are at, that was other people's gigs that they put on, and I'd just be one of the lineup, and there might be 7.
The warm up.
Yeah, that's right. But then when things started to go well, I found I had my own audience all of a sudden, and I was able to put on shows, and that was good. Like the ones you've been to where...
In Adelaide, Gocsy used to run some good headline shows.
Yeah.
What was your first headline show? Where did you hold that?
Going back a bit now. I think it might have been Sydney or Melbourne. Yeah.
So it was away from your home of Brisbane at the time.
Yeah. And I've always been like obsessed with like wanting to be respected in Brisbane, like the hometown boys coming back. But I think I put too much pressure on myself because I'm like.
Do you find your strongest fan base is Melbourne and Sydney? Is that?
Yeah. Not to say it's bad in Brizzy, but it's always that like you want to be loved in your hometown.
You want to
Do you ever feel that?
Yeah,
You know?
impress your home fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same with us moving to Melbourne. Is we've probably lost a little bit of touch with the common man in Adelaide. It'll be interesting to see when we head back in 2024 to the Hill or go back to do any footy content, whether we'll still be known as well or respected as much because we've left them behind.
Yeah.
And maybe when you go back to Brisbane, they're like, oh, that's that guy that went to Melbourne and became really funny and famous.
Yeah.
But hopefully one day do a massive show in Queensland.
I like you've come to the big smoke and you're showing Melbourne as this SA culture, you know.
He's
like,
given it a crack with an SA twist. Is how I look at it.
And you moved to Melbourne recently too.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've actually secretly ployed to come here and take over next year. That was
take
our plan.
over. Yeah. Someone needs
the Gocs and Checkers show. We're just going to be taking over Melbourne.
Shit, yeah. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But we moved at the same time without even knowing. We went and played in the big game, and then probably, I don't know if it was a week before the big game, we found out that we were both moving to Melbourne the same week.
There you go.
So, yeah, just iconically.
And then we were like, let's try and see who gets there first.
It was the great race. Sporting pursuits. We talked a little about the Div 12 Ressies game, and sport is a big factor of your comedy.
Yeah.
You obviously said food, stitch-ups, little funny Facebook videos, but you love to make jokes and content about sport.
Yeah.
We bumped into you at St Kilda training last week. You're a massive Saints fan.
Yeah.
And you've done some stuff with them in the past.
Yep. Got tackled by Jack Steele.
Have you heard about this, Will?
You got tackled by Jack Steele.
Gocsy trained with St Kilda.
Like, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just whack me, but yeah. I went there for a day and they showed me around because this was not long after they'd moved back into Moorabbin and it was all done up.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was pretty starstruck, hanging out with all the Saints, seeing Moorabbin, and yeah.
And then Jack Steele just decked him.
Yeah, they said, do you want to get clobbered by Jack Steele?
Yeah. And he actually, after that, this was a few years ago, his stardom rose after that. So
he got the cheese touch. He touched Gocsy and became really good at footy.
All I'm saying, there's something.
Have you had much to do with the players since then? I saw you interacting. Nick Rewalt knew your name at training the other day.
Yeah, that blew my mind. Because I went to do a photo. I do this thing where I get a lot of photos with like selfies with people.
With celebrities.
Yeah.
The selfie series.
The selfie series.
Yeah.
It's just own catching trending thing.
Yeah, but most of them don't know who I am, which is fine. I don't mind. But he was like, "Oh, hi, Aaron." I'm like, "Whoa, Nick Rewalt knows who I am." You know,
that'd be pretty cool. Did Jack Steele say anything to you?
I get along well with Jack. He's a nice guy. I get along well with a few of them. Rowan Marshall.
Rowan Marshall's one of the best.
Yeah,
used to live right next to him.
I still keep in contact with Blake Akers. He was a Saint.
So you got a bit of a traitor, but he went to Freo and Carlton, so you can't really be too mad. I mean,
well, at one point I did have a bit of a curse on me. The guys who were into what I did, like, would get traded or cut or like
your favourite players would get delisted.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up playing footy. I know this because you played rugby because you're from Queensland.
Yeah, I'm from Brisbane, so rugby is my rugby league. Because there's two types of rugby, but rugby league I played first, and I did get into like footy quite a while ago, watching and that, but I didn't play for a long time. Then I came down to Melbourne and tried to play for the first time, and because kids who are into footy, you grow up kicking it. So I hadn't grown up kicking a footy. I'm like trying to learn when I'm like 30. So I did a little bit, but
were you tackling too hard because you got a rugby league background? You going too hard at the footy?
A little. Like I had a bit of a psycho streak in me in some games. Like when we started losing, I'd be like slinging guys around. Yeah.
Was rugby the first sport you made your comedy content about?
I used to have a few rugby league jokes in my stand-up, but not in terms of content. No, I think footy was my first because I started at the time I'd started shifting towards being a bigger footy fan. I've had sort of ups and downs in my life.
Moving from Brisbane to Melbourne and stuff.
Yeah. But I got into footy. I was still living in Brisbane, and so I was like, I'd go wasn't many Saints. When Saints had come to Lions at the Gabba, I'd go to the games there. But my first things I did, did a few skits wearing like a Saints jersey, jumper. Sorry.
So where I was
look, like following all the different sports, you got to keep up with the lingo and the like jumper, not jersey.
Where I was leading with all this sporting pursuits, so you obviously rugby, footy, we've talked about. We moved to Melbourne at the same time. We had the race to Melbourne. We both love drinking chalky milk, but there's something else we're sharing this week, myself and Aaron Gocs.
Tell me, what is it?
We're Duck Brothers.
Oh,
Duck Brothers.
We both made ducks this weekend.
The difference is
me.
I didn't get a pro bat sponsorship. So. Although I did use a Kookaburra, it was someone else's. So can we blame Kookaburra? No, we won't do that.
Two Kookaburras get a
I grew
duck.
up being a huge fan of Kookaburra because I was a huge Ponting fan.
Yeah.
And a few other players had it.
Mike Hussey.
I've always been a little bit of a contrarian too. Probably why I chose Saints. Something about a little bit different. But Kookaburra was a kind of a lot of people like Grey Nick. What else? It was kind of like not.
It was an Australian brand,
not indie, not like the indie punk bit.
But it's a little bit like left field. It's growing, definitely growing.
Yeah.
Punter grew it massively, but
yeah.
What happened with your duck? Because I messaged you before you went in. You messaged me to say you're playing cricket.
Yeah, because I was originally supposed to play with you guys, and I came along, but with the comedy stuff, I'm just always away, and it didn't end up happening, unfortunately. But I've been following all you guys' stuff. I love it. The Richmond City journey.
The 9th grade cricket journey.
But so the team I play for is mostly comedians. It's not a full team of comedians. Is it alright if I say the team or
Go Yards.
Go nuts.
So they're called Thornbury Turf Strokers.
Turf Strokers.
Yeah.
Who came up with that name?
It's Thornbury Cricket Club Turf Strokers. I don't know the history or anything. I should look into it. But yeah, so it's a group of comedians and not just comedians, sorry, but yeah, about half the team's comedians. But
and you play on Sundays. Does that help a little bit with the gigging on the Saturday nights?
Yeah, so there's only been twice so far I've been available to play, and that was this week when I got my duck, and the previous time I bowled one legal delivery. That was my because what it was
Just one ball.
Yeah, so
can you talk us through how you only bowled one legal delivery?
Yeah, so
how many illegal deliveries did you bowl? That's the
so the reason there was one ball left in the over because someone did their hammy, one of the bowlers obviously, and so he'd bowl his 5, and as you'd know, to finish off the over, someone's got to sacrifice. Because you get counted as a full over, right? Once you
jump in and hop on that one ball,
so
you lose your allocation. You only have 7 overs to bowl in the game. If you wanted to finish that guy's over, you bowl one ball, but you lose a full over at your allocation.
So it's a bit of a sacrifice. So I put my hand up. I'll say I'll take it for the team. I'll lose my full over. No, it's a bit of a taking a mickey a bit, but I'm a horrible bowler, as we found out. So yeah, I put my hand. They said give it to Gocsy, and anyway. I'm just right arm rubbish. I've sent down first ball didn't land on the pitch, second ball didn't land on the pitch. That's why I say one legal delivery, third one lands, hooray! And but the funny thing about the 2 that didn't land on the pitch, now this is an interesting loophole. They weren't given wide; they were given dead ball. So that's an interesting message for life, isn't it? Like if you're gonna be bad, be very very bad. Because it's you know what I mean.
You told me they almost landed in the slips. Was that correct?
Yeah, very. I was going to say Harmison, but he's at least landed on the pitch. Then went
to the slips.
Mine didn't even land. But do you know what I mean? I was surprised about that loophole because isn't it? Is it too bad to be a wide? Yeah.
Yeah, the umpire must have felt a bit of
mercy.
Maybe he was a fan. Maybe he'd watched the videos.
But the only comparison I can think of is. There's probably been a few times in the pros where you've seen like a sort of, where it like goes straight up or slips out.
Yeah, like a real accident.
Yeah. But this doesn't count as an accident. It's just bad bowling. But yeah, so that was the interesting tale to come out of the first game I played. And now the second game, yeah, duck. So I'll give you an interesting story leading into it. I've arrived late, classic
Gocsy.
Amateur, yeah.
Gocsy.
Well, yeah, I shouldn't put it on all like local sports. A lot of people do arrive on time, but yeah, my fault. Anyway, but I've been doing some stuff. Anyway, I get there, I had my white shirt on, but the previous time they'd lent me white pants, loaned them to me, so I was relying on that, but there was none there when I got there. So I've just got my shorts on, and I try and, because we were fielding, I tried to walk out, and the guy's like, you can't play in shorts. So I had to wait for there wasn't many overs left, but I had to wait for the change of innings.
So they wouldn't let you go out there and bowl because you had shorts on.
Yeah, but then I've been allowed to bat, which does go against the classic,
Because you've got pads, I guess. Is that?
Yeah. Oh no. By then, someone had loaned me pants.
Okay.
But as I was saying, it goes against the classic sort of you can't bat without fielding. You know, that kind of backyard cricket.
Yeah.
Can't have the good thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like eating dinner, You can't just have your meat. You gotta
have the veg too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that's so that's my little tale. I tried to go on in shorts, and for those interested in the shorts in cricket topic, you can look this up. Victorian Bushrangers in the 90s trialled shorts for a game or two. Yeah.
Was that in like the One Day Cup?
Maybe when you do your editing, can we bring up?
We'll bring up the photo of the shorts. Just insert them right now.
That's right. Yeah, Mercantile Mutual Cup. So, there's always been a bit of experimentation over the years. Like
you were
now,
just trying to bring it back.
Like now, obviously they brought in like pink ball for day night. Lots of other things, but that was a funny experimentation because I don't think it lasts. Because I was the guys diving for the balls, you'd take off a bit of skin.
You would. And on a dry, dusty day, you'd be burning your knees up a bit.
And other than that, is it more of like a tradition thing?
I think it's a lot of tradition thing. Cricket's a very traditional sport. Footy, we can get away with a lot more.
Especially when you're wearing whites in cricket. It's such a gentleman's game.
Bit like Wimbledon,
Yeah, whereas footy is a bit like the Australian Open. Blue courts.
Yeah.
Everything's a bit unusual.
Bit rough.
So what happened with the duck? Because I messaged you before you went out, and I said just score more runs than I scored on the weekend, which is 0.
We were getting belted as a team. So I came in at 8. And I even said to my friend Nick, he's another comedian, Nick Kwan, he's the captain. He put himself at 11, which I thought was I thought he was sacrificing for me. And I said, do you want to swap? I'm no good. But then, so my time's come. I've gone in at 8, and last time I batted was last year. I did a bit of T20 in Brisbane. So it's been a long time, and I was rusty as, right? You know that first moment when you're out there and you just you feel kind of like cramped or like...
It's like trying to ride a bike again. And
the
muscle
right.
memory's just not there.
So the very first ball, just all over the place. And the guy's bowling spin to me. He's first 3 he sent down are quite wide, but then the 4th one is right on the stumps and he's bowled me.
Oh dearie me.
So yeah, I think he sucked me in with the 3 wide ones because they were quite wide. I think one of them got called wide, so I've kind of thinking they're all going to be out there, and then he's.
You see up the 1-2 punch.
What do they call that? Well, like setting
up the batsman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, it's good. Well, I would love to see it. I saw the clip of you facing one of the wides, and you played all around it. But I mean, how did you walk off? Were you a bit upset, or did you?
Yeah, I would have loved to have contributed more than 0, but
no fielding, made a duck.
What do they call that? There's those didn't bat, didn't bowl, didn't.
That's what Jared did on the weekend, so it's all right. You're in the same boat as him. He didn't get a bowl, run out of all his teammates and made 1. So it's the same sort of thing. You were probably better off not even being there, was what we said to Jared on the weekend.
Yeah, well, I joked a little bit about absorbing a few deliveries, but we were I mean, this doesn't... I felt bad. We were getting smashed as a team, but at least personally it means it wasn't just my innings that was bad. But it was quite funny because they were beating us so badly that all the discussion we were all talking about off the... What do you call it? I was going to say the dugout. It's not a dugout,
off the field, yeah.
Yeah, we're just sitting at a table. Anyway, they were saying they might send us back out for an outright, which is super rare at that level because it's Sunday Arbor. It's not.
Yeah.
So they make you bat
twice. But then I think they declined it. I was
early beers.
Yeah. They just said, and we went to the pub and watched the end of the test. So.
Beautiful.
It worked a treat.
Which was also
an early finish.
Brought in early. Yeah.
Did you at least get to have afternoon tea at the game?
Yeah, well,
I saw an interesting picture. You had a roll.
Yeah, that was the other thing. So they get delivered. There's like a takeaway shop sponsors them, but everyone put their order in, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make the game, so I didn't put an order in. So all I had was there was like a communal hot chips, so I just had some of that. But then I hadn't filled it anyway, so I didn't even really deserve a meal.
Right.
It was funny how it turned out, but yeah, there's a I'm sure I was going to, take this out if I'm not supposed to plug other pages or anything.
Nah,
there's a Facebook page, I don't know if you've seen, that shows cricket tees.
Yes, no, very good page.
Yeah, I like it, and I wanted to be a part of it, but obviously not playing. And but I took a pic of it, but it was like, that's like, because we just had a table of like chicken roll, very like takeaway
foods. Yeah,
when
I saw the picture, I was going to bring it up because you had
well, normally that page is like really nice spreads.
The thing that struck me was you had a chip in a bun. It's unusual. It's a chip sandwich, but
yeah,
chip buddy.
Yeah, that's what Gocsy was getting tucked into. But that afternoon tea page made on the front page of the Adelaide newspaper one week, so it is a very popular page.
Well, I love it because
hopefully one day we make it in there. But
there's some great spreads out there,
Tell you what, I don't want to touch on our cricket too much because that's what Stumps is for, but our afternoon tea the weekend just gone was unreal.
There might be a reason behind this. The A grade or the B grade, we're in the D grade. So the B grade were playing on the oval next to us. They'd already had afternoon tea and they didn't eat all of theirs.
Oh.
So they had it all sitting on a side table, and someone at the club we had our table of food and they had their half-eaten table of food. Yeah. And someone smartly merged them together. So we had a table and a half of food. So we sort of snuck in all the B graders at leftovers.
It was delicious.
I wonder if our comps cross over. Probably not.
Yeah,
we'll have to look in.
We'll have to work out some way we can play some
come
cricket
up against
together.
each other one day.
We've got to play footy together still. That'll be a big goal next year.
How do you find yourself so you've arrived in Melbourne, started playing. Have you quickly picked up on the rivalries of the Richmond club?
Not yet. It's something I'm yet to learn is even with footy, I've been chatting to a few footy clubs lately, and in Adelaide I know all the little rivalries, and I'm sure you'd be the same with Queensland. Yeah. This suburb hates this suburb, this suburb's posh and this suburb's poor, and that's where you get the demographics. But I know it's a common one, but everyone says like Frankston's the feral suburb, and then you get stabbed if you go. No, that's the sort of stuff. Obviously, no, I've been to Frankston. It's a lovely place, but all those little stereotypes of each place, I haven't quite learnt yet. I've got to pick up on them. I've got to quickly learn it because before footy season, you want to know them. That's what makes it.
We're making a lot of friends in the 9th grade. It's not many enemies that we've made.
Nah, the teams we play against are great. I don't know if you find that as well in the Sunday league, but down in the lower leagues, a lot of they might be a little bit traditionalist in that you have to wear whites, but they're also, if you're shit, they don't mind it.
Yeah, I feel... there's that classic sports thing of what happens on the field stays on the field. It's like a little bit of chatter when someone gets out, and then you shake hands at the end. And
we've been sitting with our opposition eating tea, and most of the time it's not us sitting as a team. We're like sitting with them and having really good chats, and it's quite fun in that aspect. Because at footy, you really end up hating each other by the end of the game. You hit each other. Someone hits someone the wrong way, or someone lays a tackle too hard. Then there's a bit of bad blood. But on the cricket field, I mean,
well, even in that big game, there was
almost a punch on.
Yeah. Few times actually.
Well, and giving us grief about being content creators.
A lot of people chirping us. Moving on from the sport, we did link up doing something else. We haven't just linked up to play footy together. Myself and Gocsy have done a couple of DJ sets.
Mate, I just want to say thank you so much because being a huge music fan, anytime I get close to the music world, I'm like, but that was awesome,
Gocsy DJ Gocsy. What do we call it? I don't know. Have you got a DJ name?
No, I don't yet.
Where did you DJ
Gocsy?
Dog?
Gocsdog, yeah. To be honest, I don't know if I should say this, but you guys were on the tech side of things. I was more of a hype man. I was just behind but it was going off, because that's what I was stoked about, being at the pub where the
brawl was between Rashido and Josh Carr back in the day, the showdown brawl.
Yeah.
But we got up to a bit of mischief. Last time we did a set together, we brought an air fryer.
Yeah.
And we were cooking meat pies and throwing hot meat pies into the crowd.
Yeah.
No way.
Gocsy cut my hair.
I was thinking of some bangers to try.
Gocsy was doing live sets. He was singing.
Yeah.
And Gocsy also cut my hair on stage. So
That's right.
it's a unique product. We might have to sell it to a few festivals next year, but
And the first time ever went to regional South Australia, thanks to you.
we did a gig in Port Lincoln without me, a solo gig.
Yeah.
Solid
Such.
gig.
Just hyping up.
But
yeah.
in the music side of things, there's something going on at the moment, a bit of voting going on.
Yeah.
And I've seen it trending a little bit. I'm hoping it comes to fruition. But Gocsy, you're nominated for a Triple J Top 100 spot this year.
Yeah, well, I got asked to come on. Like, it wasn't my... there's the band These New South Wales, a great band. They asked me to come on Like a Version with them. And they had a few other guests. But the other guests were musos. I'm a comedian. But like I said, being a music fan, I'm like... I tried different instruments in my life. I just wasn't any good at it. So
what did you do in the Like a Version? What was your skill set?
So I had 2 verses. The verse about... it's a song, Tub Thumping.
Yeah,
I get knocked down,
knocked down and get up again. That's
Yeah,
a couple
so
popular.
they said, can you do the like, he drinks a whiskey drink and drinks a vodka drink. But being my style of humour, I wanted to change one of the drinks to chalky milk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, in the second verse.
Shit, yeah.
But they knew. I didn't just do it without them knowing. But, yeah.
So it's
He's
a
making
tub
waves.
thumping.
By Chumbawamba, yeah. But,
And what do we vote for if we're doing our Triple J Top 100 votes? What should we be looking up?
So look for Like a Version. The band's called These New South Wales. They're a great band. Check them out as well. But yeah, because I've done a pod with them. They do a podcast as well.
So they're quite socially savvy. In a sense.
Yeah. They had we're kind of mirroring each other's careers because I had a Comedy Central Australia series the other year. They had one as well. Podcast. I got I mean, everyone's got a podcast, but no, but yeah, and I did a gig with them as well. I just did comedy, but I went on
Before
so
they
had an opening band, another opening band. This was in Brisbane, and then I did a comedy set just before them. They came on.
So you warmed up for a band.
Yeah, and then when they were on, I was crowd surfing and stuff. I've done stuff with bands where I'll do my bit, and then I go out into the crowd and crowd surf and stuff. So it's cool. I've toured with a few bands.
Skeggs, was it?
Skeggs, you're in their music video.
Have you heard of Lime Cordial? They're quite
Yeah.
big. They blew up a lot after I toured with them. So it wasn't a huge tour at the time, but I toured with them. Skeggs, that was cool as well.
I think one of my favourite videos is you on the skateboard in on my skateboard.
Oh
for
yeah, that was crazy. That was
music
that was the first music video I'd ever been in. Like a little peek behind the scenes. I didn't actually meet them on that. Like they sent their mates along, but they were like filming me all day, skating around just where I used to live in Melbourne Reservoir. Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, like, that's what I mean. It's great when I love music, but too bad at instruments to play them. I do karaoke, but I know I'm not a good singer. But yeah, like that was just suited very well. So
Have you got any plans for how you're going to celebrate if you get in the top 100?
oh,
Seems
mate.
interesting. Artists like to
It's,
celebrate in different ways. But say you got number one.
You know what, mate? To bring in a bit of footy coach speak, like I'll just trust the process
and see what comes to
yeah,
fruition.
like that's out of my control. Take it a week at a time. But that would be amazing. I would be so stoked. So please vote if you can. I usually try and stay out of politics, but
You'll get my vote, absolutely.
what's how we're all on the internet. We love our memes and stuff. Is it people put like should be higher, bro, or like yeah, that's the kind of Triple J. Man.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed you make it in the top 100. But if you don't, there's always the top 200.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you could
and that would add to my CV. Worst on ground, hottest 100 Triple J. I'm just gradually getting
Building it up.
hopefully a CV, but nah. You know what? I'm honestly not thinking it could happen, but it would be awesome if it did. But there's so many songs,
fingers crossed. Hopefully the Ressies fans jump on and vote. We'll jump on and give it a
Yeah.
few votes. Before we jump into the listener questions we've got and some feedback from them that we've got, acting as well. You're a man of many talents. You're doing gardening and finding footy card trees, comedy shows. He's potentially going to be in the Triple J Top 100.
This man's got a few strings to his
A few strings bow. You can play Div 12 Ressies.
Yeah.
And you've been in a couple movies, and one recently called Emu Wars. Is that correct?
No S, but yeah.
Is it Emu Wars?
Emu War.
Emu War. The Emu War.
The Emu
but
War.
I'll let you off because I was saying Emu Wars at first, and they're like, you can't be saying the wrong title, man. The Emu War, yeah. So, yeah, that was awesome to be a part of. It wasn't originally going to be a movie. It was going to be like a web series, but they just combined it together. And I've actually been to 2 screenings of it, one in Melbourne and one in Sydney. So that was awesome to see it on the big screen. And at the moment, there's a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff going on, but I've heard apparently there's going to be another cinema release around May, and then hopefully on one of the streaming things. So, yeah.
You're on the merger as well, is that correct?
Yeah,
that was on Stan Sports? Netflix.
It was on Netflix. It's just finished, unfortunately, but it was on there for a few years. But that was great to be a part of, yeah.
And it's a movie pretty much based around local footy club.
Yeah, it was. It was a made-up one. They were called Bodgy Creek Roosters, but
very nice.
A fictitious team. They let us keep one of the jumpers, so that was awesome. I was the chef in the town. It's one of these like meant to be like a tiny town, like 50 people, though, one of those sort of. And I'm like the chef. Everyone in the town plays in the team. So it was a lovely movie. Yeah.
And is that what led to your Telstra commercial that you've done recently as well?
No, I that was just, they needed someone who looked like me. So, so a lot of those things goes off of looks, where they're like, we need someone who looks like that,
Yeah. So you've a bit of acting up your sleeve. You plan to do any more acting?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah. I'm just like auditioning for things, and the hard thing about auditioning, it's kind of like footy clubs where you're competing with someone at your position, so you can either be in seniors or Ressies or left, right, out, So I just keep auditioning, but I love the acting stuff, so hopefully a lot more, yeah.
Love it. We should get some feedback.
Try and get you guys in something.
We should, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd love to. Acting. We do a lot of short format content, but nothing of the long movie style. Before we get into listener questions, I had an idea for a game we could play. And they do it sometimes on social media. It's blind rankings. You know what that is, Gocsy? It's where I spit out a few things. So I'm going to give you 5 chocolate milk companies. But I'm going to give you one by one. So I'm going to read out the name of the chocolate milk brand, and you're going to tell me a ranking between 1 and 5. 1 being the best, 5 being the worst, but you don't know what's coming next.
Oh, okay.
So you could maybe...
so there's one is best?
One is best. 5 is
not
worst.
Like 5 stars, yeah.
No. But you might get your favourite milk come up first, and then you suddenly find out a couple later is the milk you like more.
Yeah,
so it can be a little bit tricky in that sense, but we're going to do a blind chocky milk ranking with Aaron Gocs. First milk I'm going to give you is Nippies. So we need a number between 1 and 5. Where you think it might land?
I love Nippies. I love Nippies, but I'm just going to say I'm going to go 3. The reason being I do love it, but the what do you call it? How they have to do something to make it long
life. Yeah, Nippies is UHT.
You lose it. That's the word.
UHT.
It loses a little bit because of that.
It's not fresh milk.
Love my fresh milk. So
we got Nippies at 3. You got that written down, Willie?
I've got it written down.
Next one is controversial because it might not be a milk brand, but Milo.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think I'll go 4. Yeah,
it's a classic Aussie staple.
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes under the chocky milk category.
And you've got to, there's everyone's got their different mix. I like to.
What is your mix? 50-50?
Yeah, I go 50-50.
All right, so we got Nippies at 3, Milo at 4. The next milk is the classic Dairy Farmers chocolate.
Oh yeah, they're on tap at the big game.
There was a few getting around at the big game of Digital.
I love my Dairy Farmers. Second.
Yeah,
and you know what? Every time I go to Adelaide, I'll spend a lot of time at the 24-hour bakeries.
Villiers, O'Connell Street,
Pie Floater. I think is it French vanilla, French
vanilla cappuccino. Yeah. I don't know if they've got them in Melbourne, but
that's why I whenever I'm in Adelaide, I love getting the stuff that you can't get anywhere else.
Which is a pie floater and a French vanilla iced coffee
and a fruit choc for dessert.
I just love going to Adelaide and having a 24-hour bakery.
Oh, it's so good.
We've got a few of them. Next milk is from the top end, I guess, from Queensland. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Breaker,
that's right. Oh, yeah, I grew up with Breaker. I love my Breaker. Oh, this is the problem with the blind.
This is the problem with the blind testing here. We've got
what if there's something...
1 and 5 left to dish out.
Oh, I'll have to go 1 because I can't go 5. Yeah.
So Breaker at 1.
And you want to know, like I said, places having a unique thing is something I like to, and I think this might be a Brisbane thing. I'm not sure, but Lime Breaker.
He's not wrong. We went to the Gold Coast earlier this year to see Tim Zoo fight. and they had Lime Breaker, and I thought I'd just test it out the first day to see if it's any good, because I like to test things I've never had.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about. I came and grabbed you that time.
He did. He came and
took
got
you to the Lions game.
We went to the Gabba together, but that weekend I think I had about 15 Lime Breakers because they don't have many anywhere else, and I wanted to get as many in before we left Gold Coast.
Did you like it?
Fantastic. One of the best drops I've ever had. All right, last milk is going to have to go at number 5, Big M.
Oh, no. Now I feel like a traitor. That's the problem with I should have known but they're all pretty good though. But I would have probably put Milo last.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But brutal
for the Big M.
Because before talking about like early days of doing stuff, they were one of the first to send me something. They sent me a Big M shirt. That was like when you like remember your first kind of like professional.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what it like. Probably just for talking about Big M or whatever. Oh, I met one year at Melbourne Comedy Fest because there was a comedian who would do a series where he got a photo with comedians and having a beer, and he said he called it 100 beers. So I'm going to do 100 Big M's during the Comedy Fest.
That's great.
But I think I got to like 27 or 28. Like
how long does the Comedy Festival go for? 2 weeks?
Like almost a month. Yeah.
But there's 100 Big M's in a month. That's
a lot.
It's a lot of Big M's.
And people were like concerned for me, but I'm like, the show's anyway. I was probably going to
coming soon.
I was probably going to a deep subject that I won't touch. I was going to comparing alcohol and choc milk and stuff.
We should resurface this in 2024. 100 choc milks throughout the year with 100 people would be a good segment.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into list of questions, feedback.
You know what we didn't touch on? We talked about the other day, Moorabbin, the Todd Goldstein.
We should bring this up. We should bring this up before we jump in. All right, so you had a few campaigns across the years. You do all these different segments and sagas. Very much like Marmalade. We love to pick a stunt, chase a goal, chase
something
a dream.
to aim for.
And then we spend a month or 2 months or a year chasing the dream and making content about it. So
yours will never be top. The
Gil McLaughlin Torp.
Gil McLaughlin Torp campaign. That was just.
It could be. I think it could be because we have a big campaign that you've come up with here. Todd Goldstein traded to Essendon this year. Very, very close to getting 10,000 hit-outs, which would be a record all-time.
Yeah.
No ruckman has ever had 10,000 hit-outs.
It's the most, yeah.
Lance Franklin kicked 1,000 goals the other year, Will. What happened when he kicked 1,000?
They stormed the field at the SCG.
Riley Shray kicked 1 goal this year. What happened when he kicked 1 goal?
They stormed the field.
What should we do when Todd Goldstein has 10,000 hit-outs?
I think the only reasonable celebration is to storm the field.
Yeah.
Gocsy's working on it.
And like you said, Lance Franklin 1,000 goals. Other people have had 1,000 goals. No one's had 10,000 hit-outs, you know?
Exactly right.
They'll probably never be beaten.
No, it won't be beaten.
So we should make a moment of it. You've got a Facebook event running.
Yeah. The only thing I've thought about too, I think Pendlebury's close to 10,000 disposals. So we'll have to storm the field for that too.
So Andrew Dillon's going to have a tough first year in the job.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of...
Gee whiz.
But people power.
The people power has spoken.
People have spoken.
You went on ABC Radio to speak about it. You've got a Facebook event running.
Yeah.
It could be a campaign we put a bit behind. The Ressies could help out. We could pitch in and come up with some ideas.
Being a ruckman yourself, what do you think?
I think it's a good idea. I think it won't be well received by the AFL. I think they might try stop us from doing it.
That's what what I'm worried about. It happens, and then I run and I look behind and I'm the only one. That's my night. It's like that classic. What is it? The dream where you go to school with no pants on.
Yeah, you rock up.
Recurring nightmare. Yeah.
You've got no school uniform.
Well, hopefully we get it done. And hopefully a few more people run out. The people power will run out for Goldie. And if not, maybe we give him a big guard of honour or something on the way out. But
we were talking about this the other day. There's a few kinks in it because what if, like, the stats person doesn't record it as a hit out? And
he goes up in the ruck contest and we all think it's a hit out, but it actually isn't. And then we've all stormed the field and
also, do we have to wait for a stoppage in play? Because goals are easier because it's out of play.
Yeah, and they've got the ad break. But if we go on the field after just a random clearance on the wing, then the game has to stop and we ruin the game. We'll work out the logistics. We'll get back to the drawing board. And
that's for that can be sorted out.
We'll get the science team on it or something. All right, feedback and list of questions, Gocsy. We've hit up some of the followers of the page for some questions they want to know. There were answers they want to know.
Hit me with it. Hit me.
All right, first one. Soph Stokes. Best chocolate milk you've ever had?
Oh, it's like choosing a favourite child. I guess I know it sounds like a bit of a cop out, but it's just like going to each town, trying their local one. There's some up around the northern New South Wales. They got Norco. That's because the cows are eating the beautiful green grass and.
He's not wrong. The Norco, there's a jam donut milk as well. So they've got a few, and there's a Jersey chocolate milk. They don't have them here. They don't have them here. It's one that when we went to Gold Coast in Queensland, it blew my mind because I thought I'd tried every milk under the sun.
You had the Norco there,
but there was Norco, there was Breaker Lime. There's all this new milk. It was like, what the hell? This is like I've gone overseas or something. There was a new fridge to try.
And the funny thing too, being a warmer area, like people probably wouldn't associate.
Yeah, well, they reckon Adelaide and Melbourne are the milk sort of cities because it's a little colder climate. But I can't imagine NT.
I love that. I love that stat. Have you heard about Farmers Union? It's like, what is it? The only place, one of the few places in the world to outsell Coke or something
is Adelaide with Farmers Union. Yeah,
that's probably it. Probably sounds fair and reasonable.
Yeah.
I think in Melbourne, it's probably they use a lot of milk just for their coffee.
Yeah,
Melbourne's a very
coffee capital, but Adelaide's definitely
capital.
Chocolate milk capital.
Yeah, Adelaide's just capital of milk.
Yeah, so I don't want to sit on the fence. Yes, I'll probably go like Norco.
Fair enough. Norco was pretty good. I've only had it a couple of times.
I love a lot of them.
Very nice. All right, the next one's from Dotty23. Which player do you want most to join you in your selfie photo series?
Oh,
so for those playing at home, you get a selfie of the mostly footy players or celebrity. Yeah. How does it work? What do you do?
This is in Brisbane the way it would work. Because when I was living in Brisbane, the away team, because I haven't noticed this at I guess every stadium's different, but their bus you can just sort of like. It's on the street, like a lot of
so at the Gabba, there's the stadium backs onto a street. It's a little bit similar in Geelong.
Yeah,
stadium backs onto a street, so their change rooms when they leave to get on the team bus is just on the street front.
Yeah,
at the MCG, you drive underneath the ground.
You see on TV where they all walk out underground and stuff, but so yeah, in Brizzy they're on the street. So I often have to wait. I'm pretty determined. You have to wait a while. So I've waited quite a while there, and. Like the security there's a gate between them, but the players walk out and I'll just ask, like, oi,
Tom Hickey was one we got, Dean Cox.
Yeah.
And you usually put up a caption to go with it. So like for Dean Cox, it was.
Yeah, I was like, try to think of the most successful thing.
Three All Australians between us.
When I had Pat Cripps, he hadn't won Brownlow yet, I don't think. So I put up like something votes between us, and it's but I like most people, when you get a little bit of grief from people sometimes, some people don't like it. But I'm just like, it makes a few people happy, so I'll keep doing it.
It's a pretty funny gag.
Because it's for me, it's like I'm chasing them for fandom reasons, like I'm stoked with like, got Adam Zampa the other year, like legendary spinner.
So who's the player you're really chasing?
Oh, yeah. I guess for AFL, obviously, it would be like a Dustin Martin would be great.
You told me a story at the Gabba about Sam Draper.
Yeah, so I had to go to something like a gig or something. Like I said, I usually go the away team's bus, pretty hardcore. And I had to go to something, and I rushed over to try and get back, but the bus had gone by then. And I think I just commented under my thing, or I might have tagged him or something. I go, Miss the Essendon bus or whatever, and he replied. He was like, "Oh, would have loved to have done it." So like things like that are cool. I don't expect them. It's always interesting because it's like a footy team's 22 plus a few. There's about 25 guys coming out, and there's always a small percent know who I am. There's like usually 2 or 3.
Especially doing a lot of footy content and stuff. Like Nick Rewald knew who you were, so there's usually a few players.
That surprised me. So most wouldn't, but little things it's just little things that make me stoked. Alex Pearce, Freo captain, was wearing my shirt coming out
of the team bus. He has a Freo
the Freo Gocs.
Gocs.
Yeah, that's right. So that made me stoked, things like that. So I guess, but yeah, Dustin Martin for footy would be great. For cricket, I guess, pretty obvious, like the big dogs, like love to get like Cummins or Lyon.
I reckon Marnus Labuschagne would love it.
I got a pick with him the other year, actually. Yeah.
Queensland
Done.
fella.
Yeah.
All
Ticked
right,
off.
next question from Tyrese44. Did you actually eat the Whop with ice cream? If so, did it actually taste good? And this is in
This
reference
guy-
to
yeah.
a video that Gocsy did where he put Neapolitan ice cream inside a Whopper.
I have seen
Yeah,
this.
that was a long time ago, actually. Yes, I did. I do most of my own stunts. If you see me eat something, I ate it. There's no like stunt doubles. But yeah, it's very they kind of cancelled each other out. There were like the sweet and the. Although there was the stronger taste would probably be the obviously the patty of the Whopper and the tomato and onion. So I think the Whopper won
the battle.
yeah,
but was it actually good? Is what, I think Tyrese44 wants to try one. Would you recommend it?
I'd say try it once, like just to know, but it was not a good taste. No. Because some people do the whole sweet and savory and sweet mix. Yeah.
Very nice. This next question's from Roaming Has, and I think it's a question that we're all got on our lips. Are you going to play in the Div 12 Ressies again?
I'd love to. I've put in my nomination. I'll just see if I get picked. But yeah,
he's on the list.
You're in the
You're
big
high.
smoke now. There's probably going to be more players available.
But
High
we
up
don't
the
have
scouting
anyone
list.
with a worst on ground medal around their
That's
neck.
right.
You've got the resume, the CV.
You talk about me wanting different campaigns. Bring back the full forward position. That's my camp.
Hey,
I want to sit
fill
in
it.
the pocket.
Are you going to fill it? Is that what you want to
Yeah,
play?
I'd love to just play that plug a locket.
One out in the
Trey on the
rush.
bench, Gocsy at full forward. We've seen it.
Yeah. Even though I get it, the modern game is all about running, but
Yeah, you need
we
the big
want
plug
to
a
see the
locket.
full forward position. That's why I don't know. People give guys the grief, don't they, for staying back. Josh Jenkins used to get grief.
Wanting to take big marks instead
Yeah,
of doing
yeah.
the running. Next question from Sammy_K. It's a controversial one, especially since I've moved to Melbourne. Is it a palmy or a palmer?
Oh, this old chestnut. For me, growing up in Brisbane, we said palmy. So, you're influenced by what's around you growing up.
It's the same deal.
Because it's the same thing.
Will grew up in Geelong and it's palmy there as well. In
Yeah.
Adelaide it's palmy, but in Melbourne CBD, and I think Jarrah will argue with us, sitting behind the desk, but he reckons it's a palmer.
You know what? At the end of the day, it's chicken, ham, sauce.
As
and
long as
cheese.
you eat it and enjoy it, that's the
Yeah.
main.
At the end of the day, it's delicious.
Yeah.
It's
Love
yum.
a palm. But and then the other one's the potato scallop, isn't it?
Yeah, potato scallop, potato cakes. Jesus, so many debates.
You're going to get us started on a big tangent here if you keep that up.
Food tangent. We might have to do a separate pod for it.
Yeah.
This next question's from Jim Brady. Is it true?
I helped carry him off, actually.
When he did his knee in the big game.
Yes, we do remember.
We stretched him off.
Is it true you didn't get led into the footy with a banh mi?
That's correct.
If so, was the banh mi consumed or destroyed on site?
Oh, yep. Name and shame. That was the Gabba. I just bought one across the road. Yeah, it's crazy. They don't want because they want you buying stuff from in there, I think. But yeah, so they said you can't come in with that. So I just quickly wolfed it down.
So I got consumed.
It was consumed.
The week
And
after,
then
we brought a banh mi into the Adelaide Oval just to prove to the Gabba that they're doing it wrong. As a bit of justice.
The joke's on them because I'd bought a junior ticket to get in. I had the last laugh. I don't know. I might get arrested for doing that. But
No, that's all right.
hey, I'm a good supporter.
I don't think you're the only one out there, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the banh mi couldn't come in, but it still got consumed. It
consumed.
wasn't put to waste. It wasn't like in a music festival when they catch you, the sniffer dog catches you and they lock you up and destroy it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's quite funny watching people told they can't take something and they're sculling it.
Yeah.
You would often down the banh mi.
Yeah.
The last question here is from Uncle Crackers. Not sure who he is, but he said, "Can you please do the Simpsons impersonation?"
Oh,
Very famous.
another classic. Oh, okay.
Very famous.
This is one of my most favourite Gocs videos of all time.
I think.
Okay. Do you want me to do it?
We want the Simpsons impersonation.
Oh, okay. I got to get into character. All right.
This is awesome.
Ready? Homer, what have you done now? Damn it, woman. I can't even remember what he... Oh, get off my case. I'm going down to Moe's for a beer. Oh, so I can't remember. That was the vibe. I don't watch my own things, all right? I remember at a gig, I was like, any requests? And someone's like, do the classic stitch up. I'm like, I haven't watched it for like... Yeah, but
I think at the last gig that we went to, it was Checkers screaming out for you to do the Simpsons impersonation as well.
Yeah, there might be a...
You guys have been there, you guys have been there a few times, and it means a lot to me, like, to look out and see you. But at the same time, I'm like... I feel bad. You're singing the same jokes.
Nah, it's good. They're good fun.
Yeah,
Anyone hasn't got down to a Gocsy show.
But it's always, I love it there.
Just for a bit of clarification, Gocsy, Uncle Crackers was myself. I sent that feedback in. I wanted to hear it again.
You stitched me up, mate.
Yes, there's a classic stitch up.
That's a classic stitch up.
See, I feel like, between you, like, stitching me up with Worst on Ground.
I really want to hear the Simpsons
impersonation. You've done me a lot of favours, so I appreciate it as well.
Well, there's a bigger stitch up coming because the next segment...
Oh, no.
...is a dangerous segment. And it's called Checkers Checkout. Last week, the box got destroyed. I've come up with a new box here. So the box returns this week.
Two is.
Will knows what this segment is, but every week I bring a food item to the podcast and our guests and our other hosts have to eat it and consume it.
Oh, okay.
It's called Checkers Checkout because
This is right up my alley.
I go to the shops. Yes, I knew it would be up your alley. I thought you'd
I do like to eat.
Be a fan of this segment. The box shouldn't come open, but there is something in the box I need to hand out. To Will is an eye mask, and to Gocsy is an eye mask. So you're going to go blindfolded this week for the checkout.
Oh dear.
Nice big blindfold too.
These are massive.
We
Jared, where'd you find these?
It's just he's got him in his collection. Put it on, Will. We've got to get the checkout started.
Just to prove I can't see anything, do something and I'll try and say what you're doing.
I'm holding up fingers.
Is it your thumb and
everything but my thumb currently, but that's all right.
See, that shows I'm. Yeah.
For those who are listening on Spotify, I highly recommend. This is a very visual segment too, and right now we're looking at Will and Aaron Gocs wearing eye masks directly in front of me. It would be a great YouTube viewing. So if you want to head across to the YouTube channel and check out the podcast there, skip forward to Checkers Checkout. You want to see this in person. Will, can you say something just so people can see that you have the blindfold on?
There's the microphone. Hello.
And Gocsy, just say something so people can see your blindfold.
Hello, I'm blindfolded.
All right, in my box, I have 4 chocolate bars.
Yes.
I can't see anything.
I'm going to hand them to you. I'll hand them nicely.
Do I just keep my hands out or something?
Yeah, and I want you to tell me what they are. I just got to open them up. Give me a hot second. For those playing at home on the podcast, you might be able to see on the screen what this is. Jarrah can see what it is. Will, one for you.
I'm the kind of guy who says like, I'm not much of a sweet tooth, but then I'll polish off anything
Gocsy,
sweet.
there's a chocolate in your hand. You can consume the first one, and I want you to tell me what it is.
Do you get to like go by texture? Or
whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I just need to know what chocolate bar it is. Will's holding in already.
I think I knew straight away from the texture.
All right, what guess have you got? It's a team game, so you can work together.
Actually, no, it's different to what I thought.
Gocsy, I'm like half-half. I think it's either a Milky Way or a Mars bar.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mars.
Do we want to lock in a Mars bar?
Because you know why the texture, at first I thought it was Snickers. Because I felt the veiny.
Yeah, the veiny on top.
We need a better word than that. The veins.
The veins for the chocolate bar, just for clarification.
Do we want to lock in Mars bar?
I'm going with Mars. Yeah.
Right.
It's too.
All right, correct. Ding, correct. First one, winner. That is correct. Mars bar. I'm crying at the word vein being used to describe a chocolate bar. That's.
It is. You know what I mean, veiny.
All right, next one.
But we need a bit.
It's coming in. I might have to split this one. So I got 2 packs for most of them, but this one they didn't sell in a 2-pack. It might be a hint. It's a little bit annoying.
That's all right.
So I've had to split it in half. All right, chocolate bars are in your hand. I'm holding it up to the screen so you can see what the wrapper is. Boys, time for you to eat and decide. Tell me what it is.
Just trying to think if the texture tells me anything.
I know what it is.
Straight away. Will Gocsy hasn't a bite. He's biting now. You're feeling that up, Willie. You're giving it a good feel. Is it veiny?
No, it's not bad.
Oh. It's definitely like a wafer in the middle. Oh, I think I know what this is.
Gocsy, it's a Kit Kat.
Kit Kat.
Ding, another winner. All right. There's 2 more bars left. I'm going to give you the easy one first, I reckon.
Delicious.
The last one's going to be very hard. For those playing at home, I'm holding the bar up now. It's on the screen if you're watching the video. If you're not watching the video and you're listening, you're probably not understanding what we're talking about. Jump on the YouTube.
Oh, here we go, Gocsy.
Have a sus.
This one's a little bit veiny again.
All right.
Yeah, I can feel those veins.
The third chocolate bar is in your hands. There's a lot of chocolate being consumed. Are you guys all good with this, or you want more or less?
I'm fine.
It's good. It's a good little segment.
I just think you should be able to cleanse your palate.
We need a chalky milk to cleanse up with. We should have got that.
This is my favourite chocolate. I already know what it is.
Yeah, this is what I originally thought the veiny one was. Snickers.
Snickers.
Correct. You guys are on fire. That's 3 from 3 so far. And I need to trick you a little bit because I think I've given it you. It's pretty easy. The last one I think could be a little bit harder. Jarrah, I'm holding this up. Give me a head shake, yes or no, whether you think they'll get it. He reckons no. All right. I'm opening up the last packet. For those playing at home, it's on the screen. What? Save you some. I don't know if you get some, man. You can have that in a sec. All right. We'll hold up. I'll give you another piece. It's broken up in my hands. All right. Last chocolate bar to be reviewed on the Checkers checkout. Let's see if they can guess this one. I think it could be the hardest one of the lot.
The texture feels like it's from a block, like a Cadbury block.
Need some description, Will.
There's some crispy bits inside of it, which makes me think it's a boost. But I need it in the second part of it.
I'm not really sure.
Why is it shaped like that? It's
Oh.
weird.
It could be confusing. We need some descriptive words for those that are not watching the YouTube. They're having the worst
have a
listen of all
clue?
time.
Yeah.
Well, the block was correct. It is in block. So your boost call is probably incorrect.
Is it
No, but they've done a boost block before.
It's not boost block. I'll give you that.
is
as a
it
clue.
breakaway, something like that? No,
No.
because I'm getting like a wafer texture.
There might still be the Kit Kat rolling around in the mouth there.
Oh yeah, that could be it.
You guys can work as a team here.
Oh! Gocsy. Listen to me. This could be a block of Oreo chocolate.
I'm not
It's like a cookies and cream taste.
getting any Oreo though, but
So think about like it's quite creamy,
although yeah, it could be all the other chocolates in my mouth. Like,
and then the biscuit part is what we're crunching down on.
yeah, all right then. Is it an Oreo block?
All right, you can take the blindfolds off for this one because it's your first incorrect. It
Oh.
could be very close.
Oh shit!
Very close.
Oh, Milky Bar.
Milky Bar Milo.
Now I know what the chocolatey bit.
Oh well, there's 4 chocolate wrappers at my desk. You take the blindfolds off. That has been Checkers Checkout. Did you enjoy that segment, Gocsy? It's been one of the better ones we've
Yeah.
had.
Well, see, it was a weird one to stump us, you know.
Yeah, I had to put an unusual one in there because you guys were too good at it.
Yeah, no. Now that I can see it, I can clearly tell that.
Know a way around a chocky bar, you know.
Yes.
We all do. That's why this is called the Ressies Podcast and not Men's Fitness and Health Podcast.
I think we did pretty well. 3 out of 4. Yeah, I reckon we did.
It was a pretty good
well.
effort. It was a pretty good effort. That wraps up the podcast, really. That wraps up where we're at.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks so much for having me on, guys.
Thanks for coming in, Gocsy.
It's been a pleasure to have you on.
It's been an unreal
It's been a
ride.
pleasure to see that medal in the real flesh
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
Good.
I was actually worried. I didn't know where it was, but I'm glad I found it. Yeah.
And now it's going
Very
to become
special.
a keepsake.
Absolutely.
Not like all those most improved I've gotten over the years.
Ah, mate, those most improved compared.
It's
nothing.
a-
Encouragement awards.
Very backhanded award, yeah.
Where does the Div 12 Ressies rank amongst the?
Mate, it's huge. It's probably biggest award I've ever gotten.
Absolutely.
I'm jealous I couldn't give one to myself. I would have loved to keep a medal, but I didn't earn the worst. I didn't earn them.
Certainly, the most people I've ever played in front of, by about 4,900.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be up there with one of the biggest games we'll ever get to play. Hopefully, we have a big game next year. We'll get you in, and Gocsy, you might have might have best on ground. Imagine
Yeah.
you're collecting one of each side. But
Hopefully, Jarrett gets a bit of redemption.
Jared
because-
gets worst on ground. That'd be great. Then we don't have to hear about his arrogant stories ever again.
Well, he had that sick mark, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, don't
And he-
describe
Oh, don't
that. He
stop.
won't
And
stop
he had the
talking
20
about
off
it.
the
And is it like
halfback
fishes?
and-
How it gets big
Yeah,
fishermen?
no, he
Yeah.
said at one point he did the Warwick Kappa traffic control speech. So his ego has definitely inflated since that biggest game of Ressies.
He's enjoyed it.
Thanks for coming on the pod. We had a good chat, and I'm sure we'll get you back on during footy season because if you're going to play with us, we're going to have to just talk about
Yeah.
the week you kick 6, or there's going to be some good stories to yarn over.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah.
Anything big coming up on your way? Maybe some shows we can get to. Maybe the listeners might be able to look up. You can obviously check him out on the socials. Aaron Gocs, Facebook is the original videos are posted. You got Instagram, TikTok. There's YouTube.
Yeah.
You can look up some of the comedy shows.
Yeah.
But you got any touring?
Amy War coming out. I'm doing Melbourne Comedy Fest, so keep an eye out for that. It's around March, April.
It's good. We'll have to
Yeah.
We'll come to watch a show that's not in Adelaide. That could
Yeah,
be interesting.
yeah.
We'll come to a Melbourne show and see
Melbourne
if
show.
maybe he's been dishing the Melbourne crowd a little bit different. You can give them some different comedy.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
gauge it up
More about laneways and
and coffee,
Laneways
Yeah,
and coffees
yeah.
and latte art
and less about French vanilla cappuccinos and pie floaters.
and The Simpsons.
yeah.
No, always more Simpsons. We get the Simpsons
Simpsons.
routine down pat for the Melbourne Comedy Festival. Because I'll be yelling it out from the back
But yeah,
row.
also just looking to keep busy in general. So if you've got a sports club you want me to play at, get in touch. I mean, play my comedy at, not sport.
Because we've locked him in on a
We've locked
contract
him
to play
Yeah.
footy.
Yeah.
But if you do sportsman's nights, I've seen a
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
promo getting around. I mean, Christmas is probably a little bit late to book
Yeah,
now, but
best and fairest if you want me to host anything, yeah. Get in touch.
he's a good man on the microphone, and he's been a
Absolutely.
good man on the microphone today on the Ressies pod. Shrey,
Thanks for having me, guys.
we really appreciate it. Shrey's not here. Will, you're going to do the sign off again?
Yeah. We'll
Wait.
have to-
Last time Shrey wasn't here, you actually didn't do the sign off. Normally, so Gocsy, for clarification, Shrey is normally the sign off guy. He gives us the last word. Shrey's not here today. Would you take the honour of signing off the Ressies podcast?
Oh, that's
You don't
a lot
have
of
to do it.
pressure.
You just have to say thanks for listening.
Oh,
in
yeah,
whatever
okay.
way you want.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening to the Ressies podcast. And believe in yourself.
It's
That's
good.
already better than Trey's.
Inspirational quotes. I love it.
Inspirational. It's motivating the listeners.
Yeah.